Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Locker Room Talk Uncut. Drew Garrison, Chad Penrod in the locker room. We're going to talk about the Bengals' upset win over the Titans, the Browns dropping one against Oakland. I want to get into a little bit of talk about Lamar Jackson after what I saw on Sunday against Pittsburgh. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how you can win the Bengals Salute to Service hat that we're giving away this week through us linking up with Big Rig Sports. All of that coming up, plus a little bit more. So, Chad, what do you want to talk about today? It's Wednesday, November 4th. Did something happen yesterday?
And I think we would be a little naive and a little bit hypocritical if we didn't talk about what's more important than sports right now, because there's something going on that's a lot bigger than sports. It is the day after the election. We still have not been declared a winner, and we can always get to sports in a little bit. But what is going on with our country, in my opinion, is a straight fucking shit show. Like I said, we're recording this at, what time is it, 5:30?
4:51.
4:51 in the evening, November 4th, Wednesday, and we still haven't been declared a winner. We're hearing things. It's a lot of bullshit going on. And it's just our country itself just looks really bad, man. And it's one of the few times where it's like, man, this sucks, you know. And people know what side we're on, and that's okay. And you know, one thing I don't want to be considered as is a sore loser, because that's one thing I'm not. So let me just tell you what I mean by that. You know, if I felt like this was done fair and square and the numbers were correct, I would totally be okay with defeat.
Sure.
In a fair manner. And I don't think we're getting that. This mail-in voting, this shit's got to go. This just isn't. It just isn't right.
Well, look at how it's flipped, okay? So Biden's leading the polls up to Election Day, and everybody's like, yeah, mail-in votes are coming in, you know? He's going to lead mail-in voting. Everybody pretty much knew that. Okay. So they're talking about their big lead with the mail-in votes, and then you see how things start to unfold last night. Trump takes the lead in Michigan. He takes the lead in Virginia. He takes the lead in you know, several other swing states. And they're refusing to call it. It took them hours to call Florida when Florida was reporting like 96% of their precincts reporting. And it all flipped. So he gets his lead in the Michigans and the Virginias and the Pennsylvanias, and all of a sudden it's like, well, probably just should shut it down for the night.
Shut it down for the night.
Everybody's a little tired.
Shut it down for the night. And I don't know about you, but I woke up many a times last night. I kept the TV on.
Oh, yeah, I barely
woke up many a times just to look and see what was going on. And every time I woke up, we were still at a standstill. And then all of a sudden, I look up around like 5 a.m., and Biden has 136,000 votes.
In Michigan, right?
In Michigan.
How many did Trump have?
0. And this is what I want to get
exactly?
into. 136,000 votes. Okay, so there was 136,000 mail-in ballots. Not one went towards a third party.
Yeah.
Not one went towards Trump.
Come on now.
Come on, dude.
They just found 136,000.
Come on. You just found 136,000 Biden votes? This shit is fraudulent. This shit is not fraudulent. And I'm not being a sore loser because, you know, Biden himself is, in my opinion, not a terrible person. I don't think he's.
I'm more scared of Kamala Harris than
exactly.
Kamala
Or because Biden's just the puppet.
Yeah.
He's not even going to be around long. He's just the puppet for now,
for sure.
And and that scares the shit out of me. But like I said, this isn't about being a sore loser, because if these numbers were right, in my opinion, or like say fuck it, we know we're going to court. We knew we were going to end up here anyway in the Supreme Court. And if they declare after all these votes Biden's the winner, okay, I'll take it like a man. I'll take it like a man. But the shit right now is fraudulent, dude. I'm telling you.
It's insane how last night, we got a couple group chats going with a couple different people. We're watching the news. We're flipping back and forth, and it's looking pretty good for Donald Trump. Things are looking solid. He's taking leads in states. He's flipping Virginia, which is, something that they thought was going to be unheard of. And everyone's like, okay, but he gets the lead in these big states. Your Pennsylvania, your Michigan, your Wisconsin.
All the battle states.
All those swing states that matter. They called Ohio for Trump fairly early. So all of these states, he takes a lead, and he takes a pretty solid lead in with a pretty high percentage of precincts reporting. And, well, we got to shut it down for the night.
Yeah.
Or North Carolina, there's a water main break. There's another water main break in Georgia. There's 2 of them going on.
And then
get the fuck out of here.
And then I'm sitting there watching Fox News, and they call Arizona with millions of votes left.
Arizona's still got hundreds of thousands of votes left as we speak right now.
Yeah, and they called it for Biden.
It's unreal, dude.
I don't understand. The biggest thing that I'm annoyed about is just the voting itself. Like, back in the day, the only way you could vote was to go to the polls the day of. What is wrong with that? What's doing it the old-fashioned way where we know it works, where all the numbers come in, and it's in the machine right there, and it just gets sent out? Like, what's wrong with doing it the old-fashioned way? Like, why has it got to be through fucking mail where anybody can get a hold of it and drop it into a fucking mailbox? Or absentee voting and I'm okay with absentee because
it's very vetted.
And,
yes.
Like the people overseas, or even though I think we could have the money to let them cast over there, or, bring them the machines or something.
It could be done, yes.
I think it could easily be done instead of mailing in votes. But for the absentee votes, if you have maybe a disabled person or like I said, a vet, overseas where you have a copy of their identification card, or you get all their information and you send them one ballot. Okay, we're not just fucking sending out millions and millions and millions
just randomly
of random ballots,
just putting them out there,
and just putting them out there for John Doe to go get them.
And then they come in and vote in person again.
Yeah, it's just not right. It's just not right. People are getting multiple votes. It's just a fraudulent system, and I couldn't be more disappointed in the system. Because I'm a Browns fan. I'm used to taking my ass whoopings. You know what I'm saying? And you fucking lift your chin up and you go about your business. You be a man about it. And if this was real, if I thought for a second that this was real, I would take my ass whooping like a man and I would move on. But this is fraudulent shit, dude.
It's funny to me that we're talking about the system. But the system has been being changed. They're changing the rules of the game while it's being played.
Exactly.
As they see that it benefits the Democratic side. And this all goes back to COVID.
Absolutely.
COVID was created and released by China in partnership with the Democrats to fuck with Trump. The reason that you didn't see this in 2016... I know
they didn't think Trump stood a chance.
I know who we voted for, but did you really think that night you were going to watch Trump win the presidency?
No, I don't think anybody did. Nobody did.
So they didn't fuck with it, right? He shocked the world. He did it, and now he comes in. He's the incumbent. He's got Sleepy Joe up against, but there's so you can't. I'm sorry, you just can't tell me that this virus that we already know the real results of. A lot of the people through the CDC that you've seen have died with COVID in their system, but they've come out recently and said, yes, they died with it in their system, but they didn't die from it. You've seen all that. But this shit was, I believe it was man-made. I believe it was released by China to fuck with Trump in partnership with the Democrats. And, Joe Biden's pretty connected to China. We've learned that here in the last few weeks. Yeah. And these mail-in votes were the ringer. And I've been getting a lot of shit. I've actually deleted the Facebook app off my phone for a minute. I'm only working the podcast page through Pages because I was getting into some real shit.
And just on that point that you made about the CDC. So, for instance, my son goes to school, and I know of kids being at school. And I know of a kid personally, one of my son's friends. If you contact COVID, they made this kid miss two or three football games. He had to go home and quarantine for 14 days, dude. 14 days he had to quarantine because the CDC said the guidelines are somewhere between the 10 and 14. Then yesterday, the CDC comes out and says, even if you have COVID, it's okay to go vote.
Bingo. What does that tell you, honestly?
What more do people need to hear?
This whole thing is bullshit.
Like, this is the biggest, probably the biggest election all time, okay? And apparently we're dealing with the biggest pandemic we've ever seen since, like, 1914 or whatever it is, and COVID this, COVID that, and you want a motherfucker to go stand in line where hundreds of people are standing and they have COVID and it's okay because they need to vote?
It's wildly, blatantly obvious, and people choose not to see it. Yeah,
people believe this.
They
shit.
make a conscious decision not to just see through the bullshit. And people will say, "Well, do you really think that they created a virus and released it all over the world just to influence the American election?" Yes,
yes. Trump
Yes,
is a
I do.
businessman. He plays hardball with these motherfuckers, and it didn't just pay China millions. Like,
Yeah,
it's just how it works. Absolutely, it's how it works.
Absolutely believe that they were willing to fuck with the rest of the world to influence America's election. 100%. This shit is insane. Trump had heavy leads in these states, and they wouldn't call it. Biden has not
even a lead. He's about to lose Arizona.
But he gets. I'm saying yesterday.
10 minutes in, he had Arizona.
I posted this on my Facebook yesterday. It's like Biden is leading a state, but a lot of the precincts aren't reporting. They're calling it. It's Biden's. Call it. But Trump is leading Florida for hours with 96, 97% of precincts reporting, and people are like, "Oh well, hold on, let's not figure it out." Even up until last night, he's got the lead in Michigan. Well, now Michigan's like, "Well, we might need till Friday."
Yeah,
hold on.
And then Wisconsin has more votes than they have registered voters.
They waited for everybody to finally go to sleep last night.
And okay, how many votes do we need?
They found out, okay, this is what we need. So this is why mail-in voting's been being pushed on you for fucking months. So at 2:30 in the morning, Trump comes out and gives his press conference, and then they say, okay, so here's where we're at. This is what we need. Everybody go to sleep. Not going to be done till tomorrow. We got to go through all these mail-in ballots and all this shit now. So they know how many points they need to win. It's like getting into our pick'em and then seeing somebody's tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, well, that's what I need to change. So that's why we fixed it. We fixed the problem.
That person picked 65. If I pick 64 and I got all those points up to 64, I'm going to win it.
Yeah, and shout out to Beth McClure for winning. We'll talk a little bit more about the pick'em today. I meant to get to that at the top of the show, but let's stay on task.
Some things are more important, man.
I cannot believe how blatantly obvious it is that this is being stolen. We watched Georgia get stolen overnight, and luckily it swung back the other way.
Dude, it's right in front of our eyes. It's
right there.
Like 136,000 votes, all for Biden. Like you couldn't been fucking a little more sneakier. Like you couldn't gave Biden 146,000, made 9 out for Trump, and then 1,000 out for a third party person.
Dude, I went to sleep, and by the time I wake up 4 hours later, because I barely slept, I didn't really sleep. I was up and down like you. So you're meaning to tell me from that point to the point where I got up, got ready for work, and did my shit, that not one vote, not one ballot in the state of Michigan was cast for Trump? Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, after what that governor's done and locked them down, not let them do this, not let their fucking high school kids play football, all that bullshit.
It's ridiculous.
I'm calling bullshit.
And people think, if you don't like the COVID lockdowns because, you're mad that you can't go to the bar until midnight. No, it's not it. It's because we have known
it's about freedom.
All along. I wouldn't say all along. I think when COVID first hit, nobody knew what to think. We're like, oh, shit, be a little careful.
Yeah, everybody was on edge at first.
But then, okay, we start to see the facts of this, and it's clear that this is for political gain. This is a tool that has been used to get the outcome that they want, and now that it's upon us, people are like, oh, well, I mean, that's why, Biden's rallies were low, because people were just being smart.
Yeah.
Trump was having these super spreaders. You got 96-mile-long car parades. You've got 30,000 people at your rally 4 or 5 times a day.
And you got fucking 100
Amish people.
You're 100 if you're lucky at Biden.
And you got fucking Amish people coming in on horses and buggies with Trump flags and shit. All of this stuff. Trump performed better in every demographic than he did in 2016. He had higher turnout at all of his rallies than he did in 2016. Everything's bigger. And then these states are voting for Republican Senate representatives. Mm-hmm. So I'm supposed to believe that these states are voting for Republicans in the Senate, but they want a Democratic president?
Yeah, it's
none of that lines up.
There's no way.
And I know that those races they differ, and there's different sides of it. I cannot wrap my head around the fact that you call this shit out and you say this is bullshit. We're clearly being stolen. There's data everywhere. You can look at graphs and honestly, you watch Biden get 136, 138, whatever it was, literally overnight, and Trump didn't gain one. And nobody's going to question it.
Yeah, it hit like in an hour. It hit in an hour. And
kind
of back to your point about the COVID lockdown shit. It's kind of like at my job, Like if I want to stay over for overtime, and I want to do it and make double the dollars, okay. But the second my boss says, "Hey, I'm forcing you to stay over," when he said, "It's different."
It is.
It hits different, okay. Even though I'm making double the money or whatever it was. Wait, well, hold on. He just forced me. I didn't do this on my own. This is the United States of America, the greatest country in the world, okay. And our freedom's being taken from us. Our freedom's just being snatched right from us with the COVID bullshit. And like I said, and I can't reiterate it enough, man. If this election would have been right and Trump loses, whatever. Take the shot like a man, but shit just don't add up.
My only hope, and this is gonna be a fight for a while. This thing's not gonna end.
This is gonna be a week or two.
It's not gonna end tonight.
No,
I mean, we're gonna be sitting around this weekend watching football and then flipping over and seeing what's going on with. And my only hope is that A, they can, without a reasonable doubt, expose what happened, or B, it doesn't go the way that we want it to go. And at the end of the day, if that's the case, if they can prove to me that it's been investigated, it's been vetted, and Biden just happened to have the highest vote for a presidential candidate ever, then more power to him, I guess. I'll take it.
Whatever.
I'll hope that he does the country well, and that is what it is. What I'm not going to do is go start burning shit down and throwing bricks through windows and shit.
People's belongings, I'm not gonna do that
and destroying
killing
businesses and shit
like that.
But, and I can't say this, do you think those big cities were boarded up, night before last, before the election, because of what they thought Republicans were going to do?
Right. We all know better.
Come on.
Everyone knows better, man.
So, I mean, it's just, it's very upsetting.
It's not over yet, though.
It's not over. And
apparently, Arizona at 5:30, Arizona's back in it. They're up for grabs. Pennsylvania's a big one. North Carolina, Georgia.
Like Trump has Pennsylvania locked down. He has declared victory.
It looked like he had Michigan and all that. They just need to see where the votes are.
So I mean, it's not over yet, and I'm with you. I don't want the sore loser brand, but the fact of the matter is, if we call the bullshit out, people are going to say we're sore losers. It's just what it is. Because
this is our podcast. We can say what the fuck we want. If they wanted to come on, they know they can get a hold of it.
There's a chair right there.
Yep.
And this is the fact of the matter is, they're going to believe what they're being told to believe anyway. I mean, you know what I mean?
They're going to watch
Trump's
the news.
a sore loser.
Yeah, exactly.
And if Trump goes to the Supreme Court, if this goes to the Supreme Court, Trump is going to win it. The Republicans have the majority in the Supreme Court.
That's why it was so
important for ACB.
Yeah.
And people and this is why the Democrats hated that.
Yep.
Because for whatever reason, they've changed their mode of thinking. There's videos everywhere. They were talking about how the president nominates the Supreme Court. The president controls the Supreme Court. He nominates it. The sitting president does it. There's videos of Hillary saying it, Biden saying it, all these other Democrats saying it. But now, 2020 election year, Trump wants to put in a woman who the left wants way more women in power, right?
Right.
But not a conservative woman. So Trump wants to nominate somebody, and now they change their tune. Oh, whoa. It's not fair to the American people in the middle of an election. Just because he's the sitting president doesn't mean he gets to nominate Supreme Court justices, and all this bullshit that they said that directly contradicted what they've said for decades in the past, because it doesn't fit their narrative now. Yeah. It's bullshit. It's ridiculous. And I hope to God that if this thing does go Biden's way and he takes it, I'll pray for the best that he can do for our country. I think it's going to be shit. But, hey, I have to hope for the best. But if that's the case, I want Donald Trump to spend the next however many years of his life just on a complete exposure campaign. He's going to have a presidential security detail for the rest of his life, just like every other president.
He's never going to get questioned. He's never going to get hard questions.
I want him to go expose fucking everything.
No, I was talking about Biden, but
no, I want Trump to just go on a fucking exposure tour from here on out.
Yeah,
he's going to have a security detail, fit for a president.
Put him in jail.
And they probably manufacture that, but Hunter Biden can smoke crack and have pictures of naked children on his computer, children that he's related to, and I guess we just forgot about it and it stopped getting talked about.
Yep.
The dude that casually just texts his dad like, "Yeah, man, I've been smoking crack and walking around naked." like I read that like he was just texting about it.
Yeah, they were open. They're open emails.
It's fucking unreal.
But that is why we are uncut. We will say the shit that no one else will say, and this is why we started doing it. Not necessarily on a political view, but
we really had a no politics rule.
Yeah, we did. We didn't want to get into politics, man. But the way this fucking country is now. It's you almost have to. You got to speak your mind.
Shit,
let's
get into
the
let's
stuff
talk sports.
that people want to hear us talk about. I don't know if anybody wanted to hear us talk about that, but
so first
they got
off,
it.
Get into the sports thing. As I said earlier, I do want to shout out Beth McClure for winning our $370 pick'em pot last
Nice
week.
pot.
That was pretty much determined Sunday night with the new format that we have. I think
killed it.
She was up 2 games with 1 game left, and with the transparency that you can see everything now after Sunday at 1, it was just known that She won. So congratulations to her. They are already back in,
and the week 9 pick'em is now open. So.
It is open up. We got some picks coming in. I sent out an email reminder today. I can't keep chasing people down to pay their money, man.
Yeah, we can't.
I mean, we've got 80 people in this thing now, 80 listings. I can't message everybody. I got a job. I got life at home. I got shit to do. I wasn't trying to be an asshole if you got my email, but I just have to say, if you don't pay by Thursday at 7:30, your account goes inactive. I kept getting people messaging me after the fact on Sunday, like, hey, man, why is my account inactive? It's like, well, I didn't get your money.
Yeah, you got to pay.
I can't post up the pod on Thursday.
You can't watch Thursday's game, your team loses, and not pay. Like,
yeah.
Come on. We give you the deadline at 7:30. It's an hour before the first game. The money has to be in. I mean, everyone else does it, so you got to do it too.
And that's
go inactive.
That's just the way it's going to stand. And we've got a few people that are in here still in the actual pool that haven't paid or done picks for a couple of weeks. So what I'm going to do is, if you don't get in it this week, I'm going to delete your entry. But that doesn't mean that you can't ever do it again. That just means you would have to tell me, hey, man, I haven't done it in a few weeks. My bad, whatever. Something's come up. That's cool. You're just going to have to sign up with a different username and password to make your picks again. I need to do that so I can clean up the leaderboard and I can see how many spots we actually have left for new users. So It's not me being a dick or a control freak or anything like that. It's just kind of the way that it has to be done. And I for 9 weeks that we've been doing this, I've spent most of my Thursday texting people, messaging people, seeing if they were getting in.
You don't got to do that.
I can't do that anymore. We posted enough on our Facebook and our Twitter, I think, for enough people to get it. We always share it on our personal pages, so we're going to stick with that. And it's dipped a little bit, I think, maybe because I've stopped reaching out to everybody for money. So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll get what we can get, and chances are, I mean, whoever wins,
$50 pot, everyone's okay with that.
Whoever wins is going to win a couple $100.
$10 into a couple hundred, shit.
So it's
but let's get into this fucking sports shit, man. Your Bengals.
The best team.
What a
in the
win!
NFL. The best team in the NFL. They're going to win.
What a win!
They're going to win the rest of their games. They're going to kick the shit out of Kansas City in the first round of the playoffs, and we're winning the fucking Super Bowl. You like that?
I see it.
All right. Let me slow down.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I debated coming in here, and when we got to this segment, I was going to get on my phone, put my head down, and not even really talk about it. I'm not going to talk about the Bengals.
Why? What's wrong with the Bengals? I know you hate them.
Well, I was told, and I'm not going to put any names on this, but I was told after Sunday's win, this is a real thing, you've seen this, I was told that Joe Burrow is the 4th best quarterback in the league right now.
Well, that's not true because he's clearly the first.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about.
This is where I need to drink like liquor and just listen to you.
No.
Let this be your segment.
I think he's what, 3rd or 4th in passing yards, something like that. That's all well.
He's
and
also
good.
thrown a fuck ton.
Yeah, that's all well and good. And Dan Orlovsky.
Hey, but by the way, his best game so far, man, he was money. He was absolute money.
Yeah, he had a great game. Behind, I mean, the offensive line that was just like, oh shit, we're just gonna throw these dudes out there.
Yeah, we got 4 offensive linemen out, and
first game he never got sacked.
Yeah,
so that was good.
Now
the Burrow thing, though, I do want to say Dan Orlovsky said yesterday on ESPN. I watched it live. He said that he would take Joe Burrow over any young quarterback in the league except for Patrick Mahomes. I thought that was a bold take. Young quarterback, so I don't know what classifies that.
Yeah, but. I mean, so if Patrick Mahomes in there, I mean, I'm not taking him over Deshaun Watson. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that was an argument from Booker McFarland. I'm not necessarily going to agree with it. I've been fairly critical of Burrow.
No, I just think it's premature.
He's played 8 games.
8 games in.
Yeah, he's played 8 games.
No, he's going to be damn good. I've sat up here and I've said he's going to be damn good, and he will be damn good. The Titans don't rush the quarterback,
which is weird because they've got like Jadeveon Clowney. They've got
0 sacks. I'm so glad the Browns
Vic
didn't
Beasley.
pay him.
I mean, like
they just
weird.
released Beasley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They released Jonathan Joseph, too. T. Higgins got that motherfucker fired.
But, you know, and I think they were like 27th pass defense. Their defense just isn't good.
Yeah.
You know, and Burrow's been known to light up bad defenses, and that's okay because you should.
Yeah, especially as a rookie.
Yeah.
You should probably struggle with the better
defenses. We've talked about the weapons that are there. I mean, Bengals fans pounded it in our head that they had a top 5 fucking receiving core. They had the top 5 weapons in the league.
As things have shaken out with that, I mean, you've seen AJ look like he's returned to form a little bit. Didn't have a big game against Tennessee.
No, he's terrible. I started him in fantasy again.
Well, that's why he sucked. If you would just keep him on the bench, he would play good.
I do. I need to keep him on the bench.
Do it for us. But I mean, they've got a damn good complement. Tyler Boyd. I'm going to probably piss you off with this. Tyler Boyd's the best slot receiver in the NFL.
The best slot?
The best slot receiver in the NFL. Tyreek Hill's not a slot receiver. He goes outside. The best true slot in the game is Tyler Boyd.
I would say he's up there. I would have to really see the list and think about it.
I think he's the best.
He might be top 5.
But, I mean, they've got a good stable of weapons, especially at wide receiver. T. Higgins looked good, had a ridiculous catch. Ridiculous throw by Burrow. Just a great play by them both. T. Higgins is looking good. Tyler Boyd, I personally do think is the best. I think the Bengals have the best player in the league at 2 positions on their team right now. I think Tyler Boyd's the best slot receiver in the game, and I think Jesse Bates is the best safety in the game. And I was saying that about Jesse Bates before they won this game. I'm not letting this win against the Titans.
I would say Jesse Bates is top 5. I wouldn't have him at the best.
I do. I think he is. So, I mean, you know, but so what do you do now? You got a bye week.
Well, you got to win now because you just took yourself out of position for Sewell.
Yeah, I think they're about out of the Penny Sewell race.
Or Sewell, however you say it.
Hey, what about little Josh Myers action coming to Cincinnati this year? That might not be. Is he going to come out as a center or a guard?
I don't know. He can play both, though.
I'm not big on drafting Buckeyes in the pros because the Billy Price thing.
Real quick.
Fuck me up.
I'm just because now you got me thinking. So you're taking Tyler Boyd over Tyler Lockett.
Yes.
And now you're just high. No way. Look at the numbers, dude. I know one has Russell Wilson, but if we're going to put Joe Burrow up there.
Well, Tyler Boyd's been coming off of the past, his whole career with Andy Dalton.
I'm not going to take him over Lockett.
I do. I will. And I'm trying not. And that's not based off the Bates take and the Boyd take are not based off of this last game. I've thought that about Boyd for a while. I've thought that about Jesse Bates since about week 3. That's just my personal opinion.
I would have Boyd up there, but I'm not taking him over Tyler Lockett. No chance. No way. Tyler Lockett has too many big games. I mean, Tyler Lockett has fucking 200, 300-yard games.
Well, he's got more speed, but I think Boyd puts up 100-yard games
I would say
more consistently.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I would say Boyd catches more passes.
Yeah, he definitely gets.
I would say Boyd catches more passes, but I would say Tyler Lockett has more big plays.
I could see that argument.
Because Boyd can catch 10, 11 balls any given Sunday.
Yeah, I could.
But Tyler Lockett can go for 200 yards any given Sunday.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I could see the argument. Maybe there's a little bit of bias.
That's something we're gonna have to take to our group chat because I'm interested to know everybody else's opinion.
Yeah, and don't
that's
tell
a good
them
one.
about this.
That's a good one. I would have him top 5 though.
I mean, that's fair. I'll take that, love. So, but this is what I want to see. We got the bye coming up, and then after that,
Pittsburgh,
we got Pittsburgh on a 425er. Fucking yikes. Okay.
Let's see.
I always watch the Pittsburgh game with my dad and my stepmom, right? Always. So I'm gonna have them over. And my dad, I texted my dad the other day. I said, "Hey man, Pittsburgh game. We always watch together. You want to come over?" He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get fucking curb stomped." But so, what do you do with this offensive line? If Jonah's healthy, if Xavier Suafilo's healthy, who's been out for a while, if Trey Hopkins is healthy, if these guys are back, what do you do? I roll out the same exact offensive line.
I probably would too.
Why not?
I probably would too. Just because
you know what the other ones
when you're talking about those other guys, it's just like, well, they suck.
Yeah, but like Hakeem Adeniji.
So, I mean, you in my opinion, the starting offensive line, I'll call them backups. In my opinion, you replaced backups with backups.
Yeah, I mean, I think the jury can still be out on Jonah Williams because it's his first year playing, but he's looked bad.
I'm out on him.
But I mean, I've
that's not a knock.
I've only seen 8 games out of him, just like we've only seen 8 games out of him.
Yeah, but he's just. It doesn't matter who. It don't matter who he's blocking. He's always giving up sacks.
So
I mean, just for instance, Jedrick Wills is 8 games in. He don't give near the sacks up that fucking Jonah gives up.
That's a very fair argument.
You know what I mean?
That's very fair. I would like to see the true sack
Tristan Wirfs?
Tristan Wirfs is going to be a fucking bust. I've said that since the draft.
Dude, he's one of the best left tackles in the game right now.
He's not better than Andrew Whitworth.
But he's a rookie. He's graded by PFF as one of the best left tackles in the game already.
In Tampa?
Yeah, he's balling, dude. Like
Brady throws the ball in 2 seconds.
No, but listen, but they grade everything: the run, the pass, whatever. He's literally ranked one of the top tackles in the game.
I've seen Bobby Hart get some pretty high rankings before.
But Bobby Hart actually isn't having that bad of a season.
It still looks pretty fucking bad. But I mean, I just think you roll out the same line. You know what the other one's been. Everybody, I mean,
if not, you got to at least put Spain in there. Spain's nice.
Spain was a practice squad call-up. He wasn't even supposed to be on the roster that day.
Yeah, but when you started so many games for Buffalo.
Well, Michael Jordan showed up sick.
Yeah.
Not COVID related or anything, but they sent him home like precautionary. So they said, get Spain in there.
Spain
played damn good.
When you got Spain, he should have been inserted immediately anyway. He
was better
every
than
game
anybody
for
else.
Buffalo.
He was better than anybody else that they had on the roster.
That was a great get.
So you got Spain there. Finney wasn't available because of the COVID protocol.
Finney might just end up being a backup.
I think that he might just be a rotational guy right now. He could take the other guard spot from a guy like an Alex Redmond, I think.
Yeah.
But
great game.
Looking at the line.
And they whooped their ass. And
it wasn't even really as close as it looked.
Hey, and one thing I want to shout out the defense.
Yeah, they played damn good. I mean, Henry got his 100-something yards. He's going to. But Tannehill's an MVP candidate. And
they
shut him down. And they've done it to Lamar too.
And they shut down AJ Brown. AJ Brown. They shut down AJ Brown, who's having a great year.
Yeah, he had 1 touchdown, helped my FanDuel out.
Did
I end up winning that, by the way?
No, I did. I told you.
Did I get second though?
No, I think you were down there.
Are you fucking kidding me? I was in first.
Going back to him, man, just a great game. Is offensively, Gio Bernard has been great. I mean,
his pickups, his blitz pickups in the passing game are phenomenal.
This is why I personally wouldn't have gave Mixon the money. I know Gio's been around a while and all that, but I just feel like Gio's the vet. Gio just does everything you want him to do.
Yeah, but the difference with Gio is he catches the ball a little bit better out of the backfield. He's like a bigger Darren
Sproles.
He's a better pass blocker though than I think even Sproles was. I think he's a better pass blocker than Mixon. But the issue with it is you can get Gio to give you those solid running back games like 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Mixon, you can get that a little bit more. But I was very impressed by that. I was impressed by Zach Taylor.
I was impressed by the entire offense.
He called a good game. He didn't do anything stupid. He hasn't earned his way into my heart by any means, but I was impressed by pretty much the whole operation. That's the most complete game I've seen them play in years.
I don't want to end this segment without talking bad Bengals, though.
Oh, here you come.
But listen, this wasn't nothing Sunday because great game. Fucking A+. Why is people like John Ross still on this team?
Oh, that's fucking ignorant.
Why is Geno Atkins on this team? Why is AJ Green on this team? Why is Sean Williams on this team? Like, we're going to go through this again?
AJ Green's staying. AJ Green's going to sign a contract and stay in Cincinnati.
That's fucking terrible. If the Bengals sign him, that's fucking terrible. Look at what you just cannot sign him.
I think
the way that T. Higgins is playing, the way that Tyler Boyd is playing. Auden Tate played great.
Auden Tate, you can't count on him to be consistent.
No, but
he'll have a couple flashy.
How consistent has AJ Green been through 8 games?
No, that's very true. I'm just saying Auden Tate.
Giving AJ Green any kind of big contract is fucking dumb.
Well, I don't think he's going to get a big contract. I think he's going to sign a fairly cheap deal and he's going to stay there.
I don't know. I think he can go get more money somewhere else.
Possibly, but I don't know that he cares all that much about money. I really don't. I don't like. He's never really struck me as that guy. He said this year, he's like, yeah, they're going to franchise me. I'm not going to turn down $18 million. But I don't know. He has always been, and it's gotten lost.
Keeping AJ Green is stupid at this point. It's just stupid.
I don't necessarily think it's the right move. They weren't going to get.
Go with your young guys. There was no, dude. After how they played Sunday, there was no need not to unload.
No, I understand that, but Geno Atkins
draft picks is draft picks right now.
What were they going to get for AJ?
Oh, it don't matter. You could have got a fifth.
John Ross should have been traded 1,000%.
Yeah, somebody, I know people were in on John Ross.
No, it was confirmed. Alone. It was confirmed. But the Bengals' stance was they're just going to let him walk.
All kinds of teams called about fucking Geno. Geno should have been gone. He ain't done nothing. I mean, he ain't played much either. But it's stupid. You need draft picks right now. You have your franchise quarterback. The offense is already hitting. You know, you've competed in every game. You've competed in every game outside of Baltimore, and even then, you shut down Lamar Jackson.
Nobody wants to talk about that, by the way. We'll go to that in a minute. Lamar argument.
No, because I want to say something too. But picks are the most valuable thing to the Bengals right now. If you unload a John Ross, say you want to keep Geno, or say you want to keep AJ, one or the other. So you say you want to keep Geno, you unload John Ross, you unload AJ. Sean Williams don't want to be there. It don't look like. And now you have 3 more picks. It don't matter if they're 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks. You have the picks to improve your team. Your guys are close. Not
even to execute the picks necessarily, just to use those picks as ammo to move up.
Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do.
More draft capital in the arsenal. That organization couldn't sit down and do a press conference right now and explain to me a reason why John Ross is still on the team.
Yeah, it's stupid.
The verified, trusted Bengals reporters are saying teams are calling about John Ross. Cincinnati's stance is they would rather let him walk in the offseason. Why? I don't care if it's a 7th.
And it wasn't going to be a 7th. I bet it was at least a 6th.
You had a 6th round left tackle start last week, and Hakeem Adeniji, who had a badass game. Now, does that mean I think he's going to be great going forward? I don't know. But it turned into.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you because not only that. Well, it looks like they're probably going to keep Zach Taylor. I mean, it is the Bengals.
That's terrifying.
But
he's going to win enough games to keep his job.
Even then, going into this draft with 11, 12 picks is better than going in with 7.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like that for
you guys
any
are
team.
A rebuilding team. You guys have won 2 games. You've been in every game, so you're close. You need the picks.
Joe Burrow wasn't wrong in his post-game interview. The Bengals are a few plays, and I think a more competent coaching staff away from like a 5-2 record.
Yeah, they're a coach.
You said on Twitter, and I meant to ask you if this was serious or sarcastic because I never know with you. Sometimes you're fucking around.
Right.
You said the Bengals are the best 2-5-1 team you've ever seen. Is that were you fucking around trying to rile people up, or do you mean that?
They've been in every game. They've been in every game. But this was also on the heels of Joe Burrow being called the 4th best quarterback in the league.
Well, that's why I couldn't tell. I don't really.
But I've told you several times that the Bengals are close.
Yeah,
they're a good draft away. They are a good draft away, a good offseason away. So I don't think they're going to get a lot of free agents. But you don't need a lot because you build through the draft. So you get 1 or 2 free agents to place where you need them most, probably offensive line, like a Jack Conklin. You know what I'm saying? And then all those picks. Because listen, the more picks you have, the better chance you have of hitting on those late ones.
Yeah, it's a numbers game.
Exactly. You'd rather have 3 7th-round picks than 1.
Yeah, it's a numbers game, and they're misusing Geno Atkins when they do play him too. It's weird. He's one of the best 3 techniques that we've seen one of the best, not the best, but one of the best that we've seen in the last 10 years. And they're putting him right over the nose now because Reader's out. It's like he's not. It's different. I still think Lou Anarumo needs to get the fuck out.
I want to see how they compete against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's the real deal. Pittsburgh has a real defense.
I think it's going to be fucking ugly.
Yeah.
And
the Bengals might have fucked themselves losing some of these games that they've lost. Like they're going to look back at both Cleveland games. They're going to look back at the Colts game where they were up 21.
They could have won the first Cleveland game. They should have won the second Cleveland game.
Yeah. Well, but then when I think about it, they couldn't stop the run. As you've seen with the Browns on Sunday, if you can't stop the run, you're not going to win in the NFL. When you give up 200 rushing yards like they did to the Browns the first game, when you give a team the ability to control the clock like that, you're not going to win. Could they have won? Yes. But
the last Bengals Browns game, they should.
I would agree until I think of the pick Joe Burrow should have thrown.
Yeah, but he didn't actually throw it.
Yeah, but if we're playing the what if game, I'm
not saying the what if game. They should have. They should have been able to keep Cleveland out of the end zone.
But here's what I'm saying: there wasn't a defense stopping that offense in that game, right? You agree with that?
There wasn't a defense, yeah, on either side.
Right. So if the Browns make that pick, they're already up 4 points.
Yeah, that's true.
Then they score and they go up 10, 11 points.
That's fair.
I see what you're saying. Could they have won that game? Yes. But could they have lost by more in that game as well? Yes. So I see both sides of it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And then kind of talking about being in every game, and we want to talk. You wanted to bring up Lamar, whose numbers are not very good this year. Yeah, the Bengals defense shut down Lamar. On top of that, the Bengals defense also shut down Ryan Tannehill, who's having an MVP type season. But how comes we discredit Baker Mayfield when he throws 5 touchdowns against him?
Well, I've never really discredited Baker.
No, but
you have done a very big Baker flip here in the last 3 weeks or so. You're back, right? You're back in, right?
I need to see more, but I can't judge him off of 50-mile-per-hour winds up next to the lake.
Well, and we haven't got into that game yet. This is my thing with Lamar, man. And I got into it with a Ravens fan today, and he was like getting personal and shit. And I'm like, hey, man, chill. It's not that deep. We're just talking here. And I get it. Lamar's his guy. You're going to ride for him. I defended Andy Dalton.
He has worse numbers than Baker right now.
I had to defend Andy Dalton for way longer than I should have. Okay,
that's what I've said about Baker.
But it's just time to face the facts. Lamar is a great regular season quarterback. And the dude I was arguing with on Facebook going back and forth, he's throwing me Lamar's stats, his regular season stats. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's dope. But what I'm saying is he's 0-3 against Kansas City. He just lost to Pittsburgh the first time that he ever played them with Ben on the field. He's 0-2 in the playoffs. If you can make Lamar Jackson have to throw deep and outside the numbers, I like your chances. If you're a good team and you make Lamar throw outside the numbers and throw down the field, I like your chances. He gave the ball away. What do you have personally? 3-4 turnovers, 2 fumbles and 2 picks, or was it 2 picks and a fumble?
2 picks and a fumble, yeah.
I mean, he's giving the ball away left and right. And this isn't and I told the dude today, I said, so the fact that I like the Bengals, that takes away my right and my ability to evaluate a quarterback from what I see from my point of view? No. It's not because I don't really hate Baltimore like that. I hate Pittsburgh. I don't like Baltimore. They're a division rival, but my hatred in the division lies in Pittsburgh. From what I've seen from Lamar so far, look, this is his 3rd year, right?
Yep.
Okay, and he didn't play much his first. It's cool. I'm not saying that the dude's always going to suck and that he can't get better. He's a fucking freak athlete. He's got the best training that you can have surrounding him in the NFL. He could become a great passer, but what I'm saying is right now, if you told me I have to count on Lamar Jackson to go beat Kansas City in the playoffs, I'm taking Kansas City 10 times out of 10. If you tell me Lamar has to go throw to beat Pittsburgh, I'm taking Pittsburgh 10 times out of 10. And I feel like he gets such a pass. Lamar gets this crazy pass that Baker Mayfield doesn't get. But Lamar has worse numbers than Baker right now. Yeah. So what is the issue? Why is it that Lamar gets this pass is it because he runs the ball well? Well, that's great. Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. So let's start comparing him to Joe Mixon then. But we're talking about a quarterback, the most important position in the league, that has to throw his team to victory. Lamar Jackson's not cracking my top 20.
They had his biggest games, his top 6 biggest games, which would be I think it's 2 playoff games.
3 against KC.
2 playoff games, 2 big games against Kansas City and Pat Mahomes, and then he's played 2 games against Roethlisberger. In those 6 games, he's 0-6.
Yeah, that tells the story right there. And that's not an indictment on Lamar Jackson as a player. It's just, to me, can't
win the big ones.
He's the NFL's James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
He's the James Harden of the NFL. Lamar Jackson right now is not – this may sound crazy and biased. If you want to tell me which quarterback that I'm going to take that's going to throw the football – if it's Lamar Jackson or it's Joe Burrow, I'm taking Joe Burrow 10 times out of 10. If it's about throwing the football,
absolutely.
If it's about
absolutely
throwing the football.
If it's about throwing the football, I don't know if fucking Lamar's in the top 20.
Yeah, he's not in mine.
But I think everybody knows that. I think everybody probably agrees with that.
I feel like people don't. I feel like Lamar just gets this pass because he'll make a badass run and do a spin move. And
He's
that's
not
all well
he's
and
not
good.
in my top 20 throwing the ball.
No, not by
way.
any means.
No way. Well, let's talk about my Browns, man.
Weird game.
16-6 loss.
It's like
I said I couldn't wait to see how Baker bounced back after the Bengals game without Odell Beckham Jr. But this is just one of those games where you can't judge because up next to the lake, weather gets real bad. I mean,
dude, it was like sunny, and then it rained, and then it snowed,
and then it hailed, and then the winds were 50 miles per hour the entire game. I will say this though, all of a sudden Jarvis Landry can't catch a ball, and he's dropping the ball. Browns led the week with drop balls with 5. Baker would have had a couple touchdowns. The loss isn't on Baker at all.
I saw that, and if you look at my Twitter feed, I'm pretty much fucking done with Twitter. All right, I don't fuck with it because people are just ridiculous on there. But I'll go into our direct messages because I still respond to our group chats and shit. And the timeline will pop up as I go in to see it. And I saw you said this loss isn't on Baker, not even a little bit.
Not even a little.
And I would agree with you after watching the game.
Not even a little.
It's just
third and 5, and Njoku's on a drag route wide open. Baker hits him in the chest. He drops it. Touchdown to Jarvis, who you've seen that one. He makes it at the touchdown. Jarvis drops it. Another pass to Jarvis in the end zone. Jarvis drops it.
Yeah, it's just,
five drops on the day. I want to say with the 5 drops, Baker would have been around like 200 something yards, like 20 or I want to say it was like 17 for 23 or something without the drops. I mean, you can't put drops on the quarterback, man. I mean, you just can't. And it's just one of those games where you don't really. You just can't judge anything because of how bad the weather is. Now, what you can judge is the defense and the coaching, because you have a team coming in from Las Vegas that was 0-10 playing, and a quarterback playing 50 degrees or less. He was 0 of his last 10. So you can't lose like that. The defense couldn't stop a cold, which is why I'm very frustrated. They didn't do anything at the deadline to get the defense some help. But the biggest take from Maul, and I'm ready to say this now at the bye, and I think I've been ready to say this. Man, oh man, do the Browns miss Nick Chubb and Wyatt Teller?
Well, more specifically,
Wyatt Teller.
I thought about Chubb.
And let me tell you,
that feels like a game where Chubb makes a difference. That's a Nick Chubb. That's not a Kareem
Listen to this
Hunt
stat.
game.
I would have agreed if I had not have seen this. Listen to this stat. The Browns are averaging 6.8 yards per carry with Wyatt Teller on the field. 6.8.
Jesus.
And 3.9 when he's not.
Oh, wow. So that dude's that fucking good.
An extra 3 yards per run good right now.
That's a huge difference. I mean, you run 3. Let's just break that down to like the bottom levels of football. And you probably told your kids this in Pee Wee through the years, like we've told ours. If you can get 3 yards every time you carry the ball,
3 yards in a cloud of
they
dust.
never get the ball back. 3,
Another
6,
another
9,
thing
12.
on there too. They're also averaging a 9.2 blown block pressure rate. So that means they missed a block, like 9.2.
Damn.
Without him, with him, it's 5.5. Like the numbers are huge on how much they miss Teller. And
so they do miss Teller more than Chubb.
But here's the thing.
It's probably a mix.
It's definitely a mix. And me and you talked about it, and we actually agreed that we thought maybe Kareem Hunt was better than Nick Chubb because he looked faster. He looked like he's seen the hole better. He's more explosive. That is not the case, man.
He just he's more fun to watch. He's a sexier runner of the football than Nick Chubb is.
Right. Chubb is just downfield, hit the hole and go.
Or force his way through three people.
You haven't seen a Browns big play in weeks.
Yeah.
And because when you look back at the Dallas games and the Bengals first game, Nick Chubb's breaking a 20-yard, 25-yard run every game.
Yeah.
Like those guys are that's like the heart of our offense right now. And fortunate enough, we might get them back after the bye. You know,
who you got after the bye? I can't remember.
Houston.
You guys win that one pretty easily, I think.
Houston's defense is very bad.
Yeah.
If we can get Teller and we can get Chubb back, that would be huge. Be huge.
That was a Cleveland football game, and I thought that was going to favor the Browns heavily.
I did too.
Just Carr's record in weather below 40 or 50, I think is what you said.
You will not. And you should know this from week 2 as a Bengals fan. You cannot win games in the NFL giving up 5-6 yards a carry.
No.
When a team just decides we're just going to run it down your throat and they can run it 30, 40 times a game, you've lost.
Yeah, it's over.
You've lost. You've got to stop the run.
And the Browns didn't do that.
No, they didn't.
So.
No, Josh Jacobs and fucking whoever their backup was ran all over the Browns.
Shockingly, the Bengals won after giving up 100 and some yards to Henry, but they kept him out of the end zone. So, I mean, yeah, it's weird, but I think if the start of the season, you'd say you'd be 5-3 going.
Oh God, I'll take this. Oh, dude, right now we are in a spot right now. We're actually either the 6th or 7th seed, and either Baltimore or the Colts have to lose this week. So
and you got one more with Baltimore and one more with Pittsburgh left this year, too, right?
So the Browns, I'm predicting the Browns either be at 10 or 11 wins. They got Houston, Philadelphia, the Jets, the Giants, and Jacksonville left on their schedule. They have 5 wins. That's 5 teams I think that they should beat. That should put you at 10 wins, and that should get you in the playoffs. And if somehow maybe you can beat a Baltimore, maybe you can beat a Tennessee, or you can beat a Pittsburgh, we'll see.
Tennessee's beatable. You just saw it.
Yeah.
So
not if we can't stop the run.
Well, yeah, that's true. So that's where we stand on the NFL this week. The Bengals, the Browns. We got the off week. Play some Call of Duty. The guys can relax, get back right. Real quick, want to talk about. I don't know if anybody saw the post on our Facebook page, but I've got a Salute to Service Cincinnati Bengals hat. I'm actually wearing one, so this is how it happened. I won one through. We talked about Big Rig Sports Breaks last week, where you can enter and win all kinds of stuff. I got a signed Jabril Peppers Michigan jersey on the way. So I won a Bengals Salute to Service hat in one of his breaks, and he accidentally sent me 2. So I got an alert from my Ring doorbell that somebody was at my door. I look out, I see a small box. I'm like, oh, cool, it's my hat. I see another box the exact same size. I'm like, oh, shit, it's my hat. So what he wants to do is hook us up with memorabilia to give away once a week. So we're going to start with the hat. He accidentally bought it, so he said that'll be my contribution for the week. We've talked about there some signed Bernie Kosar pictures floating around that we might be able to get our hands on. So we're going to try to tailor it around Bengals fans, Browns fans, Buckeyes fans mostly. I think that's probably our biggest listener base.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. We're going to come up with a way for you to win this hat if you're a Bengals fan, and promise for the Browns fans we will have something up for you next time around. We'll try to get something Browns to give away next week. So check out Big Rig Sports Breaks. I've tagged them on my Facebook. It's fun, man. You get in there, put some money in. I'm going for a signed Burrow jersey right now.
I'm going for a signed Kosar.
Yeah, those should be breaking soon. I talked to Charlie a lot, man. He's a good dude. He ships things out very quickly. He's offered to let us try to grow our community in the room. We kind of help him out, get people in there. It's been fun. So just a way to gamble from the comfort of your own home more than anything.
Yeah, and I didn't know. Did I tell you? It's kind of not really personal, but did I tell you who I'm most proud of after last week, though?
I don't think so.
Michigan State.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about it. We're going to get into that shit, aren't we?
Didn't Michigan State just lose to the Rutgers?
By 11.
No way Michigan loses to Michigan State, right?
We talked about it the day before with Austin. 24.5-point favorites. I think it
Dude, and I said I'm taking that with Michigan and run with it to the bank.
I think it dipped down to 21.
I wasn't expecting that, man. You guys look like shit.
Is the single worst loss of the Jim Harbaugh era at Michigan. The single worst.
He's close to being done. As soon as he loses to Ohio State, he's done.
He's not going to get fired. Michigan will never fire Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh's exit strategy is going to be there's going to be 10, 12 NFL jobs open up this offseason. Let me throw my hat in the ring on those. I think he goes back to the NFL somewhere.
So you're going to take him in Cincinnati?
But I think that's the way that he gets out of that. But the single worst loss of the Harbaugh era by far, 21-point favorite at home. I think when the game closed, it went down from the 24 down to 21. 3-touchdown favorite. You're at home. I know the big house isn't the big house right now without all the people in it, but regardless, you're at home. This guy's his first year as Michigan State's head coach, Mel Tucker, got picked up in like fucking February, super late after all the crazy shit that happened with D'Antonio and his exit, and they just fucking dropped it. Ricky White, guy from this area, actually, he's Willie Flight's cousin.
Balled out, dude.
Our good friend Willie Flight, it's his cousin. 196 yards, I think second highest record for a Michigan State player against Michigan. And Don Brown, who has been my favorite Michigan coach for the past 3 years or so, over Harbaugh, because I've been kind of out on Harbaugh. Don Brown, who is still one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. I do not understand why he kept those corners in man all game. Well, they're getting fucking killed.
That was my takeaway, dude. Your guys' corners are terrible.
Vincent Gray getting killed. Fucking Green on the other side getting killed. And you got Daxton Hill, who's one of the better safety prospects in the last few years that you stole from Alabama. Put him over top. Play that. Like cover it. Every time they took a deep shot, it was a flag or it was a completion. Yeah. Now, I do want to say, and I'm not blaming the officials for this loss by any means. I am blaming the coaching staff and Jim Harbaugh. That game was not called fairly when it comes to holding and pass interference by any means.
Well,
Michigan State got away with a whole lot of shit.
Because what I think starts happening, because I think it's kind of easy to manipulate the refs. What I think starts happening is those corners start getting burnt. They start getting burnt, so they start holding a little bit. And now you're saying you got a coach and the players saying, "Hey, I've been burning them all game." Now all of a sudden he's holding me and all that, and I think the flags start flying in.
It started early though. Didn't
they get burnt like twice though before it started?
They started getting the penalties earlier. It just it could have mattered. And I do want to point out there was a big third down in their own territory that Michigan State completed on that last touchdown drive that was clearly an incomplete pass. It is a complete disgrace that Jim Harbaugh didn't have somebody upstairs in the booth or whatever demanding that he take a timeout and get that play looked at. Because that play goes the other way, Michigan gets the ball back, we may be looking at a different game. Michigan may go get that touchdown to
you can't
keep,
win. But like you
said.
That
is bullshit. That's on the coach.
But like you said, though, you can't. That's a team you should have been up on by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been in that position. Right. But the fact that they didn't make that challenge is completely asinine to me. Yeah. I'm done with Jim Harbaugh. Dude, I don't give a fuck about the rest of this season.
Yeah.
You're kind
of back on the Bengals train now. You know, you was Michigan, but you know they're going to let you down again. But the Bengals are the team, and I don't want to get back to the NFL, but at least they're doing what you thought they would do, and dude, they're starting to get better and better throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's all you expected.
But dude, I'm flying to Florida in December for the Michigan-Ohio State game. I'm going to Tampa. All right, so this is what happened. My dad was in the podcast. You know, he's had some health issues, some things that he's battled through the last year. He decided that with how this COVID thing's fallen out, he said, I don't want to watch this game in Ohio. The bars are bullshit. I'm like, okay. So he calls me up. He says, hey, man, December 12th, Michigan-Ohio State. He said, I don't want to miss this game with you ever. I said, well, I get that. We're always going to watch this game together. That's like, you know, our biggest day. He said, so I'm buying you and your girlfriend and John and any of our other kids that want to come. I'm buying you a ticket. We're flying to Florida. I said, okay, because, you know, Sean, he comes up for Thanksgiving every year. We always watch it with him. He's like, he can't come back up. He's like, we're going to Florida. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, we're going to fly down to Florida on a Thursday, come back home on a Monday. It'll be cool. Now it's like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? I can just watch them get their ass whooped here. What the fuck?
You're going to go all the way to fucking Tampa to watch them get their ass kicked.
That's more because it's really important to my dad, and I'm going to go for it.
Speaking of the Buckeyes.
But he doesn't want to watch it at our normal spot. I won't say the name. He's like, but the rules that you have to abide by there just are sucking everything out, and that goes back to our fucking idiotic governor.
Yep, absolutely.
And the people that own the bar having to do what they have to do to try to stay afloat. Yeah, you have to.
But speaking of a good college team, and speaking of the Buckeyes with a win over the Penn State.
Okay, they won. They kicked the shit out of Penn State. Sucks. Podcast over. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Who gives a fuck?
They just were able to do whatever they wanted to do, man.
Anything they wanted.
Anything they wanted to do.
Anything they wanted.
Justin Fields is, and
he's my Heisman favorite now with Lawrence being out.
Yeah, because and you know, like me and you had been talking at the end of last year about how Fields looked hesitant with throwing the ball and the deep ball. Dude,
especially when it mattered.
This year he's just dropping them in the fucking breadbasket, dude.
Yeah, just on everything. And that's
then,
not a bad team that he played. They're 0-2, but they're not a bad team.
No. I fucking love Garrett Wilson, receiver out of Texas. That is a bad fucking dude.
Yeah, that's a bad dude.
And with Chris Olave, the wide receivers are just set. You know, I think the Buckeyes are missing. You know, they're used to a Zeke and J.K. Dobbins.
They don't have that definite running back.
They don't.
It just doesn't matter
that's,
right now.
That's just one of the things I think they might miss against a real good team.
But this may be the best wide receiver room I've seen them have in 5 years.
Oh, absolutely. It absolutely is. And the best quarterback. Just because, Fields is a year older than he was last year, and he is going to be a Heisman candidate. The defense is better. The linebackers are Borland and I forget what's his face, but they're just playing real good ball. Secondary's nice. Defensive, it's just they're a team that's built for a national championship.
Yeah, a tainted national championship. Just like you said, the Lakers championship was tainted. Ohio State, if they win, it's definitely tainted. Trevor Lawrence is out with COVID. They didn't have to play a non-conference schedule. Totally tainted. I'm just going to get on that train now. It's 5:52.
Trevor Lawrence, Clemson's making the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Even if they lose to Notre Dame, which I don't think Notre Dame is fucking frauds, dude. They are fucking.
We'll see
frauds.
this week.
We'll find out Saturday.
Because I disagree.
Frauds.
I think
you think they're for real. I think they're a fucking fraud
pretty good.
like every other year.
All right.
So that's what I'm going to be in. But yeah, so this is what's going to happen. Michigan's going to play Indiana. Maybe fucking lose.
Indiana looks good.
Yeah. That's no slouch. But what's probably going to happen is what happens every year with Michigan for me. They drop that game early that they shouldn't drop, just a stinker. It's usually against like a Notre Dame or something.
Going a big fucking run.
They're going to go on a run, and everybody, and sometimes even you were buying into it like, oh shit, Michigan found something's working with Michigan. This is going to be a game.
Defense.
And then we're going to get there and we're going to get fucking drubbed by fucking 40.
Or by Ohio State.
Give up 60 to Ohio State. It's going to happen. I'm gonna tell you what I want, and people are gonna say I'm crazy or I'm a secret Buckeye or you've been really pushing the secret Buckeye thing. You got to calm down on that. Secret Buckeye. The Michigan needs to call Luke Fickell.
Hey.
He's got UC at number 7 in the country.
Luke Fickell.
He flirted with Michigan State last year. I know he graduated from Ohio State. He coached at Ohio State for a long time.
Would he go to Michigan?
I think he might. He entertained Michigan State. I know it's different.
Yeah,
I'd make the call. But people are saying that,
and I've actually thought about that.
Luke Fickell.
I've actually thought about Luke. I'm like, man, dude, he's got him playing some good football right now too.
UC's in the playoff discussion right now.
Yeah.
Like that's
Luke Fickell's legit, dude.
University of Cincinnati.
Legit. Yeah.
So that's one I would look at. And what another thing that I'm seeing in regards to Harbaugh, and it's the last thing I'll touch on it. He's not going to get fired because of the buyout. I thought his contract was up. I must have read that wrong because I said that last week. Michigan's not going to do that buyout with the economic impact they felt from this COVID shit. I don't think they're going to. They might. I mean, they have the money. Let's not get it twisted. The University of Michigan has as much money as they need. I think it's going to take Harbaugh stepping away for Michigan to not go into next year with Harbaugh as the head coach.
And he'll start feeling the pressure. I'm sure he already does.
Shit. He's 0-5 against Ohio State.
Fans are going to start calling for him, especially if he loses this year.
He's won one game in his tenure at home against Ohio State and Michigan State. One.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
Well, all right, man. Well, pick 'em. Hey, like we said at the beginning of the show, the pick 'em is open. Week 9, get your picks in. Cash App, Drew Garrison. Make those picks and get in this pick 'em. I think the pot right now is at $150. We always get that big wave there on the last day. So you guys get those picks in and send that money to Drew.
And thanks for tuning in. We will be back in next week. Political Talk Uncut. Is that what we're going to be called now?
Political Talk. Yeah, right.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.